To the earth, riches, and wisdom. So we have, even right there...
What's his name?
This is an emergency transmission from FEMA Region 6 in occupied North America.
There is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the InfoWar. I try to study all the major countries in the world, and I do know quite a bit about Ukraine. Probably more than most of the so-called ambassadors Obama sends around. But that's not saying much. It's on record that most of the ambassadors don't even know where the countries are they're being sent to and brag about it and can't speak any of the language, and it is very insulting to the people that are having these ambassadors sent to them. Usually you send an ambassador who's an American citizen but had family there and a culture there if you want to get anything done. Like if, you know, the U.S. ambassador to England should generally be an Anglophile and have family in England and, you know, have some background there and know about British culture or UK culture. And it's just an example. I mean, there's Obama's ambassador to Norway, knows nothing about Norway, and brags he knows nothing about Norway. But I know quite a bit about Ukraine. Really smart, great people who had it really hard in between Europe and those wars and in between the old czars and then the Russians under communism. But this is a new empire of the EU and the globalists teamed up with the Anglo-American establishment coming in to take over and privatize everything and absolutely just drag these people through the mud. And there's problems with the government. There's corruption. There's all the standard stuff. They've been putting new governments in every couple of years over there. This government's just trying to be neutral. And it looked like on a lot of fronts was trying to be nice to the Russians and nice to the EU and just trying to have trade and saying, we'll just be on our own. No, thank you. The EU looks like a bad deal. And, of course, they activated Soros. And, I mean, Soros is like herpes or something. I mean, he just is the gift that keeps on giving. Do I need to say anything more about what's happening in the Ukraine, but that George Soros is on record right in the middle of it? What an uncool person. And look at what they did back in 2008 with the neocons. It's the same agenda. Starting a war with Russia in South Ossetia and Abkhazia in northern Georgia. We almost had a nuclear war right there. And our media said Russia had attacked Georgia. They had national news say that I was a collaborator because I came out and said that we attacked the Russians. Later, they had to admit that was the case. They ran a hoax, folks. They could start a war tomorrow with the Russian border territory, a demilitarized zone. They've got a bunch of those. And we'd have nuclear war, and we'd always be told the Russians did it. That's how big these hoaxes are. That's how evil this government is. It's not our government, ladies and gentlemen. It is criminal elements that are playing all countries off against each other because they can consolidate power during chaos. Because while the Catholic and Orthodox people are lined up killing each other and attacking each other, being manipulated, in Ukraine, the globalists sit back and laugh. Just like here, it'll be black or white versus Hispanic, or North versus South, or man versus woman, or gay versus straight. Why don't we all just agree on Bill of Rights, Constitution, due process, private property, right to defense, and be like, I'm for freedom, and you are a status. See, people need to be in gangs. They need to be in clubs. They need to be in tribes. They need to be in packs. That's how we are. But it should be, I'm part of the invention pack. I'm part of the trailblazer pack. I'm part of the honorable pack. You know, in real business that's still in this country, the word gets out, oh, that's an honorable law firm. That's an honorable CPA. That's an honorable florist. That's an honorable repair guy. That's an honorable good painter. And you know what? They can charge more, and they get the business, and anyone with a brain works with them. And then all the losers just feed on the unwashed masses that don't know what they're doing. The most valuable thing in this world is being honorable. And as Dr. Paul Craig Roberts has said many times, America in the last decade has lost its soft power. We've lost our soft power where people respected us so much that they would basically work with America, and that really helped our country. There's nothing wrong with having an empire of ideas, an empire of trade, an empire of goodwill, if it's consensual. Consensual collectivism is great, where we all agree on liberty, so we collectivize our will to make the world better. But it doesn't mean we collectivize and give up our will to join a collective. Oh, no. See, collectivists are like the corporate Borg. And so as people that are individuals, we think, well, I won't work with anybody because I'm not a collectivist. That's not collectivism. That's teamwork, ladies and gentlemen. And the minute we figure out the difference between that and this robo-sapien humanoid garbage that is collectivism, this trendiness, this just accepting whatever the latest propaganda is, the minute we do that is the minute we begin to turn the tide. Now, I got a bunch of other news to cover as well, and we've got a bunch of big guests coming up today, but I'd like to get your take on what's happening over in the Ukraine as well. Lyndon LaRouche has been wanting to come on for weeks about this, and we finally got him on. He says it could turn into World War III. I agree. Joseph Farah is going to be coming on to talk about a host of issues, Obama becoming a dictator, and so much more. The head of WorldNet Daily. That is all coming up today. But I've got some other comments on this as well. I mean, sanctions on Ukraine, their police have been incredibly restrained. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Scalzo. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com.